Good morning and welcome to the latest edition of Shooting Straight with me, Voice of the Forge. Those of you who have been paying attention to my channel will have noticed that I have not been posting as regularly as of late, even though I have had the occasional video. Mainly, this is due to the fact that I am really trying to get my blood pressure down, because there is so much that I could spout on about, you'd never hear me shut up. So now, part of my plan is to only really say something when I feel it is absolutely necessary. And given my background, for those of you who don't know me, it's a matter of public record, I was a Metropolitan Police officer. And I can quite wholeheartedly now say that I quite often do not disclose this because I am more ashamed of what they have become than anything else. What has sparked my ire in order to make this video, you may ask? Quite simple. It is the ongoing saga that we have with regards to the scum of the earth. Let's be honest, he was scum. Henry Vincent. He was a career criminal. And yet again, we have these people. Oh, he had a heart of gold. He was too good for this earth. He was a fucking thief. He got what he deserved. Just like that twat who got gunned down by Farmer Martin all those years ago. The police refused to do their jobs. The courts refused to do their jobs. This man went into an OAP's home with a screwdriver. This would be laughable were it not for the fact that the Met Police only a week before were showing the, and I'm doing air quotes which you can't see, but the haul that they had of offensive weapons, which included screwdrivers and workman's tools. That bastard went in armed. He intended to steal, and if necessary, if someone was going to stop him, he was going to attack them with a weapon. Instead, he got his arse kicked. He got his own weapon used against him. That is karma. That is his just deserts. This was not an upstanding citizen. This was someone who should have been locked up and had the key thrown away. Thankfully, and I say thankfully, the man in question killed him. Now, why do I say thankfully? Because it spares that old man the rigmarole of having to go through a court system that would be heavily against him and on the side of the criminal who burgled his home, and they would be second guessing every little thing that he did to say whether or not it's excessive force. It has been the state of this country for some time now that if you kill a burglar, it is better for you than to let that burglar walk out of your house. Now, I'm not advocating for the killing of burglars. Right? But there is only one person who knows whether or not excessive force has been used. And I can say this having been a police officer and a security guard. If you know the law, and you know your rights, and you know your obligations, then you can defend yourself to the hilt. The way you speak has a ring of truth about it when you say that you would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I have met so many people that have admitted that, oh yeah, my arse started going. Oh yeah, I went a little bit far that time. They know when they've gone overboard and excessive force has been used. Just as you know full well when you've done everything in your power to try and use as little force as possible and you still end up hurting somebody. But why is it now that I'm speaking out about this burglary? Why is it now that I'm speaking out about Henry Vincent? Why? Because of his family. Tying bouquets of flowers opposite that OAP's home on a fence, bearing in mind that the bloke whose fence it is has turned around and says, I don't want them there. And the police have turned around and said, well, no one's made a complaint, we can't do anything. Fuck off. It's intimidation. Pure and simple. Section 4 of the Criminal Act. Section 4 of the... Oh, fuck. This has got me so wound up, I've forgotten what it is. Section 4 of the Public Order Act. It's threatening violence. It's intimidation. It's harassment. These are all criminal offences that the police can and should be investigating. But are they? No. Because why? Because they're being put there allegedly, because allegedly they're going to school and they're going to college and all the rest of it. Well, that's not the lifestyle I heard a gypsy had. They didn't go to fucking school. They didn't bother. They got married at 14. Produced more of these ilk that think they can strut around the streets unfucking touchable by the law. And why do I say this? Am I being ist? No, I'm talking from personal fucking experience. There's a reason why I don't leave my flat. There's a reason why I don't walk the street, because I can't trust that some fucker from one of these minorities wants to start some trouble. The last time was because I wouldn't give one of them a fag. Bearing in mind this was a while ago, and at the time I didn't smoke, so I didn't have any fags to give them. Oh no, that wasn't good enough. They wanted me to give them a cigarette. So they were going to have a cigarette, by Jove, or they would have their pound of flesh. How old was he? He was fucking 12. But because he had 3 big brothers with him, all from the same inbred fucking family, they thought they could get away with it. Well, they did, because the police never fucking caught them. I can't leave my flat because of the anxiety that is engendered because of people. Because for some reason, they think it is perfectly A-OK to take the law into their own hands and do what the fuck they like. Well, it's about time that we started deciding what laws that we don't want to abide by. The suspension of laws for thieves would be a fucking good start. Bring in the Texan Castle Doctrine. You enter my house, you better be prepared to leave it feet first. The police are not doing their jobs. The police are saying, oh well, nothing criminal's happening, and yet they're deploying fucking horses to try and keep the peace. Well, there in and of itself is a breach of the peace. You are having to deploy officers to stop violence from happening. Why not impose a Section 60 order? Like they do for football hooligans. If you are in this area with no good reason, we demand that you disperse and do not return for at least 24 hours, and we will require you to leave. If you don't, we will arrest you. The police have more than enough power, have more than enough laws, but yet again, it's a minority that is running roughshod over the legal system because they are claiming victim status. And yet the poor old bloke whose home it is has had to go into hiding. What the fuck is this? Where is the rule of law here? What? The police are not doing their jobs. There should be a mass call here on anybody who sides with Richard Osborne Brooks to write in to Scotland Yard demanding the resignation of Cressida Dick, because it is obvious that she is not fit to lead. This isn't the first case where I've turned round and gone, the police are a fucking joke today. They're not fit to spit on my shoes, to shine them. And I can say that. I joined in 98, I left in 2007. Why? Because of an injury. Did I get anything for it? Did I? Fuck, I was too young. Did I get a pension? No. I was 30, so I was expendable. And yeah, you could say that I'm bitter. But the reason I'm bitter is because of the state of the police they are in today. They are nothing more than box-ticking bureaucrats. And if you challenge them, oh, don't they get on their high horse. Especially around here. Last time I got jumped, they ended up taking me to my doctor's appointment. Because that's where I was going. I was only leaving the house because I had a doctor's appointment, and I end up with some shit on a bicycle, trying to cycle through somewhere where he had no fucking clearance, where he wasn't supposed to be. He'd decided that he wasn't going to obey the law, and he rode into me. So I told him to fuck off, because he had just assaulted me. Not only had he broken the law by riding on the pavement, he'd also ridden into me, which was a use of force. And you don't have to intend to ride into somebody. If you know that you are likely to, in a narrow fucking pathway, and you do it anyway, that's called recklessness under the law. And if you know there's a risk and you do it anyway, then you are still as culpable as if you deliberately aimed a blow. That's the law. But we've got no fucker upholding it. And now we've got someone who has done what was necessary to save his life and that of his disabled wife when these fuckers broke into his home. And what are the police doing about the harassment? The targeted harassment. They go on about fucking targeted harassment and bad words on the internet. This is far fucking worse. What's being done? Nothing. I used to say that the police were lions led by sheep, because I used to believe that the rot was at the top from all the indoctrination, from all these fucking left-wing fucking degrees that they all had in the fast-track programme, where they'd got up to senior management, and now it's all, let's all be PC and this, that and the other. Now I'm of the opinion that they've lowered the standards so fucking low, they take anybody and everybody that'll just do as they say and toe the line. And fuck the actual law. Oh, and those of you who aren't aware, Cressida Dick was Gold Command when Jean Paul de Menezes was shot. She was the stupid tosser in charge. And she lost control of that situation. Anybody else would have been fired, but no, she got promoted up because she obviously knows how to glad hand the right people. She knows the right thing to say. She probably knows where the bodies are buried on other people as well. We should, en masse, call for her resignation, say that we have no confidence in her as Commissioner of the Metropolis, and get fucking rid. She is an embarrassment. She is not fit for the job, and this is proof. The police are using horses to keep the peace, but they're saying they have no powers, that no crime has been committed. Pull the other one, it's got fucking bells on it. It's time that we started looking at this with Rotherham, with Telford, every fucking where else. Form up, protect your streets. Take them fucking back. You don't have to be a vigilante. Form a neighbourhood watch that walks around the block once a week. Twice a week if you've got the numbers. Hell, if you've got the numbers, every fucking night. Everybody, someone different, do it every fucking night. You see a girl in trouble? Hell, you see a 14-year-old girl near a takeaway, you should be asking questions now. Form up. Take the streets back. It's to the point where we can't even have fucking screwdrivers. Where we can't even have carving knives delivered to our homes, in case they get into the hands of the under-18s. Fuck off. Do your fucking job. Get rid of fucking Khan and his terrorist sympathising allies. Bring in stop and search, and bring it back fucking hard. Watch knife crime tumble. Take back the fucking streets. If the police aren't going to do their job, we should start doing it for them. And then we turn around and go, right, we're doing the job of the police, we're not paying the precept for the police in this area. Watch how quickly the council fucking howls then. It isn't a matter of numbers, it's a matter of will. And what it is we have a police force that has been emasculated. It's had its balls cut off. All they want to recruit are meatheads who can follow orders, who do not question authority, and they want us to all act the same. We are no longer walking into a fascist Big Brother state. We're already there, only we don't have Big Brother, we've got lots of little sisters. We've got the CCTV all over the fucking place. We've got community wardens and the plastic policeman, the PCSO, who, by the way, has no more power than you or I. Really. Know your rights. Know the law. Self-defence. Section 3 of the Criminal Law Act 1966. Self-defence. Every fucking time. Why are you out on the streets? Oh, I'm concerned for the neighbourhood I was walking around. Hell, if you need an excuse, get a fucking dog. What are you doing? I'm walking the dog. What are the police going to do and say about that, eh? You've got a soppy fucking retriever on the end of a lead, and you're walking around your neighbourhood. Oh, no, got to have a licence for something like that. They'll try and bring something in. We are doomed if we let this slide. It's a fucking outrage. And when we are outraged and the outrageous happens, then we should, as citizens, as an alleged society, stand up and say, no more. Do you stand with the pensioner defending himself? Or do you stand with the gypsy scum that got murdered in the pursuit of criminal behaviour? There's a word for what happened to him. It's called death by misadventure. Basically, he was the author of his own misfortune. And yet we now have an innocent man, because the police have brought no charges, they've let him go, and said they're not going to do anything. So he's innocent in the eyes of the law. They are now hounding him. Hound them the fuck back. Get fucking rid. Let them know that we won't tolerate this kind of behaviour. And if you want to burgle our houses, you'll meet the same fucking fate. Watch how quickly crime drops when all of a sudden physical injury or death may result. The law should be on our side. We are the law-abiding citizens, not them. And the police should do what they are paid to do and uphold the law. And actually, when they see people putting up these flowers, they should be prosecuting them for harassment and, at a minimum, a breach of the peace, taking the flowers away and carting them off and telling them not to go into that area, getting them fucking sorted so they don't go, so they get banned from that area, because they've got no business being there. He had no right being there in the first place. So why the fuck should his family? Do your fucking jobs. That does not mean sit behind the computer policing Twitter. That does not mean going to fucking courts and prosecuting someone for a joke with a dog and the fucking Hitler paw thing. Because at the end of the day, the bloody dog doesn't know what it's fucking doing. He put his paw up for a treat. Oh, and by the way, there are reports where someone who did that was actually tried being prosecuted by the Nazis. That's how far we've fallen. Now, are we going to fall all the way? Or are we going to turn around, stand up and be counted and say, this is not our country. We want our country back, with our values back, and the police doing what they're paid to do. Well, that's it for today. If you agree or disagree, it's up to you. Either way, let me know. And holy shit, I've gone on for 20 minutes. I am, as always, Voice of the Forge. You can catch up with me on YouTube. You can catch up with me on Twitter. You can catch up with me on Twitch. I'm all over the place. Literally. So drop me a line. Have a word. See what we can do. And actually stand up and do something that means something today in today's society. And as the Amazing Atheist says, well, as it used to be, TJ, peace the fuck out.